Hi, how you doing? I'm Dr. James Dawes, and I'm here with Jessica Cowart, and she does an amazing thing, and I wanted to interview her because she's a patient of mine and how we met is really interesting, but she actually does horse massage, and I'm so excited to talk to her about that because I work on people, and she works on horses, and it's amazing how, we interact. So a quick story of how we met, um, she actually gets her horses adjusted by a chiropractor, which is a whole story in itself. But she decided to bring her kids in to get checked out with my wife, with Dr. Kimberly, and started getting them adjusting and noticing they were doing well. So finally, you decided to come in,
Yep.
and we found that her pelvis was off, and we ended up thinking, wow, I wonder if my horses were kind of off with your saddle. Because I asked you one time, were your stirrups off? And you
Yep.
said, yes, they are.
Yep.
So as we started to balance that out, the stirrups, I think you got them level.
Yes, they're level.
And you noticed that the horses actually were a little better.
Yes.
So the rider can impact the horse, which is really interesting. So I wanted to, and then what time did you become a horse massage therapist?
Back this past February.
Past February. Okay, so we're not quite a year in.
Not
So
yet.
tell us about that. Tell us about how it works with a horse.
So it's very simple. If you, what we see a lot in riders is if they are shifted any certain way, whether going over a jump, going around a barrel, if you're leaning or whatnot, we find that same issue in the horse. So if you drop your shoulder going around a barrel, your horse is probably going to drop his shoulder going around the barrel as well. It's basically biomechanics. The horse pretty much mirrors the rider.
Interesting. So when you're starting to work on a horse, because for a lot of people, like I've been around horses very little. My father-in-law has some horses, but horses are big and kind of intimidating. So when you're working on a horse, how do they react? Do they know, hey, I'm getting worked on, this is cool? Because most people go to a massage and they come and see Bryson and they're just like, I'm going to go relax for a while.
Yeah.
Is this more of a therapy or more of a relaxing for a horse, or a bit of both?
So it's a bit of both. It's mostly therapy because we are actually fixing things.
Mm-hmm.
We are changing the way the horse carries himself. We are changing, and then in the end, we change the way the rider teaches the horse to carry themselves. So it is more of a therapy than it is just a feel good, and I think that's what I would like people to be educated about, because
Yeah.
a lot of people think massage and they're like, oh, don't want to, I'm not going to spend that money on myself. Why would I spend it on my horse? It is way more than just to feel good. It's actually fixing a problem.
That's incredible, and that's the same. Like with Bryson, he's more of, I consider him more of a therapist than just a massage therapy like candlelight and
Yes.
spa, which there are. We got a friend coming to visit us here. Hello. So and that's what I thought it would be, more of like a horse is having an issue. So what are some of the people? How do they find you? What are the issues that they would say, my horse is doing this, and someone would refer to you to see if you could help fix that problem?
I think typically the biggest thing is starting with lameness. They see that a horse is maybe feeling funky in the hind end, or like I said before, constantly dropping the shoulder around a barrel, not wanting to pick the limbs up going over a jump, and all that stuff just kind of ties in. They start with a chiropractor most of the time,
Okay.
and then they find that bringing the massage therapist in on the side as well helps kind of keep everything going and flowing.
That's incredible. I'm really excited about that. So, can you? Yeah, he wants to get in the shot.
He's like, my turn.
Yeah, he's a star too. So, what would be? What is your? Because you haven't been doing it too long.
Right.
What's your best example of when you started? Because I know when I started chiropractic, you're going along, you're doing what they taught you in school, and all of a sudden you have like that case where, oh my goodness, it really
yes.
does work.
Oh,
What's
yes.
your favorite case so far where you were like, I don't know if this is going to work, and you did something? Give us an example of that.
You have your basic cases where it's like a little soreness here, a little soreness in the lumbar, a little off in the hips, but then you have your cases like they're like a horse is fighting the bit, and you go in and you relax the TMJ and the pole and maybe even the neck, go a little bit farther down, and then all of a sudden this horse is going around long and low and chill as a cucumber, whereas before
Really?
he went around like
Yeah.
hollowed back, head in the air, and you see the rider doing this, and then all of a sudden afterwards you see the rider and the horse just
They
kind
relax.
of in sync and going.
So you see a whole posture
Yes.
issue of the horse just
Yes.
let go, and is that mostly noticed in the jaw and the shoulders? Is that or hind end where how they ride?
Typically, as far as TMJ goes,
Well, just the stress. Like if you were coming up on a horse, what would be your first indicators? And I'll tell you, the reason I ask is because when I see people, the first indicator of stress is high shoulder, clenched jaw.
Right.
You know, so I was wondering if that was similar with the horses.
pretty much. Whenever we see horses, whenever we watch horses go, we look and see what muscles aren't functioning or either not functioning at all or not functioning properly.
Okay.
And then that's kind of sort of where we begin.
So you actually do a gait analysis.
Yes.
So you go watch them either ride, watch them trot, run, whatever.
We'll watch
whatever
them on a lunge line and a round pen, free in the arena, under saddle, from beginning to end.
That's incredible.
Yes.
That's incredible. So it does mimic and mirror sort of what we're doing with humans with biomechanics.
Yes.
Obviously, you can't put them on scales, and taking x-rays are a little more difficult. But I thank you so much. This is great. We're going to do a little tour around here and maybe introduce you to some of the horses, or introduce me to some of the horses, because you do rescue as well. You've got some rescue horses here.
We do rescue and rehab, yes. We have a couple of those.
It's incredible. So if you need or know of a person who's got a horse or a rider, you hear that, and I would refer them to Jessica, hands down, at least to come meet her and see if it's something that she can help with their horses. So the horse community, watch this video, and I think we've got a superstar in the making in the Murfreesboro area.
Ready? Can you smile for the camera? Smile. Smile. Smile big. You smile one more time. Smile big. Smile big.